Tonight, the next generation of community housing.
We have to unite together and work together to make sure that everybody's housed.
New affordable units now available to tenants. Plus, life after service.
Finding your next journey can be extremely difficult.
Fanshawe College building on its military connection. And Canada's employment picture improving.
I've been applying to more than 100 jobs.
But the same can't be said here in London.
CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with the human rights investigation within the City of London's Housing Stability Services. A former employee who experienced harassment says her severance and benefits were cut for speaking out on CTV News. And as Daryl Newcomb reports, the director she complained about was reinstated only days later.
Former City of London employee Kate Green says telling her story of harassment while working in the Housing Stability Services Department triggered a quick response from civic administration. Notification that her severance payments would be slashed to her minimum entitlement under the Employment Standards Act.
After the CTV interview aired, the next day the city reached out to my lawyer and said that I had breached their respectful workplace policy and code of ethics.
Last week, Green spoke out about a human rights investigation that determined she had experienced workplace harassment from the Director of Housing Stability Services, Craig Cooper. A summary provided to her on June 25th concluded she experienced disrespectful, harassing, and discriminatory conduct, and that a pattern of micromanagement negatively impacted your team's efficiency and morale. 3 other allegations were not substantiated. A couple of months later in September, she was fired without cause from her job as a manager overseeing contracts that direct government funding to frontline homelessness agencies. She refused the city's offer of $5,000 in general damages because it required signing a non-disparagement agreement, but eventually was provided a period of salary continuance in lieu of notice regarding her termination. Green's lawyer, Susan Toth, writes in a statement, quote, "They are now trying to punish Kate for blowing the whistle by threatening her and cutting off her salary continuance and benefits." Meanwhile, we're also learning a bit more about what's taken place inside the Housing Stability Services Department via an email that was sent to city staff earlier this week and independently obtained by CTV News. Addressing the HSS team on Monday, Deputy City Manager Kevin Dickens wrote, quote, "I wanted to let you know that Craig Cooper will be returning to his role of Director Housing Stability Services this week, as he officially steps back into the role with so many important projects and system transitions on the go." The summary of the human rights investigation sent to Green back in June states, quote, "Interim measures assigning the respondent to a role outside HSS will remain in place until workplace restoration efforts are complete." Civic Administration again declined to be interviewed, instead sending a statement from City Manager Sandra Daters-Beer that explains these types of matters are taken very seriously and leadership follows council-approved policies. Also, quote, "When investigations result in findings, staff are advised and corrective or restorative measures are implemented. Confidentiality of personal information is maintained for all employees, including complainants and respondents in internal investigations, and is required under privacy laws that apply to the city." However, Toth's statement blasts the city's use of confidentiality regarding her client's story. Quote, "The city is weaponizing confidentiality. The purpose of confidentiality is to be a shield and not a sword for retribution." As for Green, the city's decision to slash her severance wasn't the only response she's received, proving to her that this is an important matter of public interest.
I was honestly blown away. I've heard from so many women and men sharing their support, their own personal stories, not just with the city, but with other employers.
The full statement from the city manager can be found on our website. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
For the first time in more than 50 years, London and Middlesex Community Housing has opened a new building. Local officials are calling it a significant step forward in replenishing the city's affordable housing options. Jerry Dewan has more on the expected impact.
I went from pain and despair to gratitude and happiness.
Kathleen Savoy says her life was turned around when she found shelter in this London Middlesex community housing complex.
I was this close to being out on the street, and I don't think I would have made it 24 hours.
She believes the new reimagined Southdale development will have the same impact on many others.
We have to unite together and work together to make sure that everybody's housed and everybody has the same opportunities.
Work on phase 1 of the reimagined Southdale development got underway in March of 2024. Now the 6-story apartment complex is ready for tenants.
2, 3. Yeah!
Phase 1 has 53 units and a number of community spaces. It replaced 18 townhomes that were torn down. Housing Corporation leadership call it a milestone project.
It really just demonstrates that we're moving forward, that we're really focused on making sure we have good, safe, quality housing that meets the needs of the community.
We want people to live here. We want them to be safe. We want them to raise their families here. And we want them to aspire to have their own housing that they own.
LMCH is in the midst of its master regeneration plan for the region's stock of public housing. Their stated goal is to increase the overall number of rent-geared-to-income units and improve overall quality of the buildings. London Mayor Josh Morgan says underfunding of community housing infrastructure taught governments at all levels a difficult lesson.
This is the downloading of social housing to municipalities decades ago without the proper resources to actually maintain them. And that led to years of neglect that you see in almost every community who has taken on that asset. But through the last couple of years, this council, in partnership with other levels of government, has made renewed investments in our community housing stock.
Chisholm says phase 2 of the reimagined Southdale project is already underway and phase 3 is awaiting funding.
Our focus this time was family, accessible, affordable housing, but we know there's a need for seniors, a need for others, so we'll look at that need and build what the community needs.
Phase 1 came in at a cost of $29 million. Jerry DeWan, CTV News.
Meanwhile, ground broke today on a high-rise apartment complex in West London. It's considered a first-of-its-kind project incorporating the city's transit hubs. Sean Irvin reports.
The city, the province, and a major southwestern Ontario developer turned shovels Friday on a new 225-unit apartment building constructed with less red tape. The Serena West Village Tower will eventually be joined by 2 more buildings housing 700 units. A reported 10% will be offered at affordable rates. The project is located near Oxford in Wonderland. It is an intersection the city views as a high-density transit hub.
We're actually moving forward with multiple transit projects and transit acceptance in this area, which is going to support the density that's being proposed, not just here, but along Oxford Street and in other components along Wonderland Road.
Footings for the first tower on this site will be in place by the end of the year to ensure Westdale Development qualifies for the Mayor's Fast Track Housing Initiative.
We're going to reward and we're going to fast track those who can actually build the housing sooner.
Westdale, the largest private commercial developer in the region, has big plans for London's major transit hubs, including on Wellington, where their key asset, White Oaks Mall, sits.
We have 500 units proposed on that site in 2 floors. That's scheduled to start construction in early 2027.
London's success is being touted by the province's housing minister, Elgin Middlesex London MPP Rob Flack. This week, Flack acknowledged housing starts in Ontario will fall over 7,000 short of original 2025 projections. But the minister contends London is bucking that trend as it takes full advantage of the Ford government's Build Faster fund.
So London had a great year last year. I think, as Mayor Morgan said today, you're going to see even better starts, hopefully next year. So it's tough, but we're creating those conditions and we're starting to see action.
We're well on our track to meet our commitment to supplying the housing that's needed in this province and this country.
In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
A second petition has been filed in Perth County opposing a proposed subdivision. Members of a local citizens group are pushing councillors to acknowledge the county's official plan, which states Sebringville is a village where growth should be limited to low-density residential development. The petition claims a proposed 265-unit subdivision would nearly double the size of the village while adding traffic and causing water issues for current residents.
Good evening. Overcast and rainy out there today. Temperature-wise, close to where we should be for this time of year. The main rain has moved off to the east, but we still have some light drizzle out there. A cold front's coming in tonight, and that will shift our winds to the northwest, and then the temperatures will start to drop off, but we'll stay above freezing overnight. We're down to about 7 degrees by midnight. We have a special weather statement in effect, and it's in through London, eastern Middlesex County, Huron and Perth County included, as well as southern Grey, and that stretches right in through Toronto, Peel area as well. Areas off to the northeast in and around the Kawarthas. This is in effect for Sunday. We have a snow producing system on the way coming up. I'll take you through it. We'll take a look at snowfall amounts, who will be impacted, when it will start, all of that coming up in just a few minutes. Carlyle, back to you.
Thanks, Julie. The provincial government has announced funding to help military veterans turn their skills into college and university credits. Brian Bicknell has more on the fast track from service to civilian employment.
They stood on guard for Canada, but some in the Canadian forces are not sure where they stand when their time in the military is over.
We are very group-oriented in the military. We have a lot of close friends, a lot of close family. And when you leave that, you leave part of your family behind. So transitioning out and finding your next journey can be extremely difficult.
Andrew Mellison is an active member of the Royal Canadian Navy who also serves as Fanshawe College's military-connected career consultant. He was on hand as Ontario's Minister of Citizenship and Minister of Colleges announced $575,000 in funding to recognize skills veterans learn during service as college and university credits.
This initiative will expedite their studies, ensuring military-connected learners can join the workforce faster, supporting a smooth transition to civilian life and building a strong talent pool for Ontario.
We rightly recognize them for their service while they're in service, but we need to do a better job, all of us, on that, but also on recognizing their service for what they do here in Ontario when they come home.
With the funding, prior learning and assessment recognition projects have been launched at 6 colleges and universities across Ontario, including Fanshawe. Fanshawe will create a database of course equivalencies that recognize the prior training. It's no accident that the announcement was made here at Fanshawe, with this school having become the first ever military-connected college back in 2020. And that has resulted in a nearly 100% increase in military students. In fact, more than 400 study here now.
Fanshawe College is developing a reputation as a college that supports military-connected learners, their families as well, Brian. And so it provides a level of confidence that coming to Fanshawe is a wonderful career opportunity.
Every year, between 8,000 and 9,000 Canadian Armed Forces members are released from military service.
They know what to do. You give them the task and they accomplish it.
Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
The two ministers at today's announcement were also asked about the federal government's plan to further cut the number of international students studying in Canada next year to just 155,000. Several post-secondary institutions have cut programs because of the international student cap.
So, it was another decision by the federal government, another unilateral decision without consulting with the post-secondary or the provinces that serve our post-secondary education system.
I think what we would like from the federal government is stability on the file. I think it's been unhelpful to have the changing goalposts. But our priority, is to work with them, to, however they put it forward, to protect our economy, defend it.
Lambton OPP say one person was killed in a crash south of Sarnia yesterday. Police say there were 2 cars involved near Highway 40 and Courtright Line. According to police, a 51-year-old from London was pronounced dead at the scene. 3 other people have non-life-threatening injuries. A London man visiting family in Lebanon has found himself in the middle of renewed violence. He's a former local political candidate who's sharing video of an airstrike in southern Lebanon, not far from where he's staying. Rita Ismail reports.
Former London Fanshawe Liberal candidate Mohammed Hammoud says what he witnessed felt unimaginable.
Imagine if the States today, instead of putting tariffs on us, came with airplanes and started bombing us and sending us evacuation notices to London, Ontario, saying Byron is going to be bombed and we give you 40 minutes evacuate. That's exactly what happened yesterday.
Hammoud says he postponed visiting family for over a year, but now that he's there, he's decided to extend his current stay while writing a new book about his homeland's resilience.
The book is called We Who Refuse to Die, Between Ashes and the Olive Tree. And this book is chronicling what happened from September 2024 to present day. It really talks about what's going on here, how people refuse to give up their land and their homes and their livelihoods.
He describes Lebanon as beautiful but unsafe and says witnessing the strike's aftermath has been emotional.
I'm very much Canadian. I've lived in Canada for 50 years, but the land that gave birth to us this is my flesh. And when I hear people here today, when I see them clean up after an attack, when I see the support they give each other, this is humanity.
The airstrike Hammoud witnessed comes amid a fragile ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon, in place since November of last year, following months of cross-border attacks between Israel and Hezbollah. Though the ceasefire remains officially in effect, it's been violated several times.
I just sat there and I couldn't believe it. I heard the planes. I saw the first rocket. I started filming. And then I saw the second rocket.
Hammoud says he's staying in Lebanon for now, hoping to finish his book and to share what he calls the human side of life amid conflict. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
Officials with the Provincial Animal Welfare Service say they're investigating after a puppy was found dead in a ditch near Woodstock. According to Oxford OPP, the animal was found Sunday morning. They say 15 other young dogs still alive were found nearby. A last-minute deal has been struck with Grey and Bruce County school bus drivers. Nearly 150 school bus drivers in the Kincardine and Owen Sound area were threatening strike action starting Monday if no deal was reached. Local officials say an agreement was secured after 2 days of negotiations, which Owen Sound drivers ratified last night and Kincardine drivers were voting on today. Union leaders had said wages and unpaid work were their main concerns. The biggest fundraiser of the year for the Marymount Family Support and Crisis Centre is underway. It's happening at the London Hunt Club. Officials say each year the centre supports 8,000 children and 2,500 families who are going through crisis or trauma. The event includes live and silent auctions. Organizers say they're aiming for more than $100,000 raised.
The money goes to support our child mental wellness program, which is a program for children from birth to 12 years old who are experiencing or at risk of experiencing a mental health crisis. Our programs are strength-based and trauma-informed and really work to build capacity and skills in children, such as life skills, coping skills, resiliency, all of those wonderful things that we need to live well.
When we come back, putting the federal budget to the confidence test, Mark Carney's minority government survives a second vote, this time with the help of the Conservatives. Plus, the new data showing how many Canadians are having to choose between paying a bill or buying groceries.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We begin tonight with Ontario's latest.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVLondon.ca, your home for news.
Welcome back. The federal government's budget has survived a pair of confidence votes in as many days. Meanwhile, the Conservative leader faced more questions over a second MP announcing plans to leave his party. With the latest from Ottawa, here's Rachel Aiello.
MP Matt Genereux says he likely won't be leaving until the spring. But if the opposition are counting on the outgoing Albertans' vote, it's worth noting he didn't cast one in either last night's or today's confidence tests.
How many seats do you need to have a majority?
I can't remember.
Do you want to answer?
Need a couple. So call your local MP if they're not a Liberal and tell them to come up.
Prime Minister Mark Carney joking about gaining more MPs after Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre lost a second in as many days. Multiple sources say Matt Genereux was in talks with senior Liberal staffers about crossing the floor this week. But Conservative Party officials made it clear there would be consequences if he did. Genereux pushing back, posting a second statement, insisting there was no coercion involved in his decision to resign. The party now saying his announcement was expedited by Liberal pressure tactics.
The only rumors I've heard of intimidation and harassment are from Liberals badgering Conservatives in elevators and calling them at home.
The drama driving chatter among MPs ahead of a second confidence vote in the Commons today.
Matt's been a wonderful colleague, and I wish him all the best.
I think there's some soul-searching going on.
Monsieur McKinnon gets no.
The government survived the Bloc Québécois attempt to reject the budget. And now Liberals will spend the next week selling their spending plans before the key final vote on November 17th.
I sure hope that the opposition parties see how much is in that budget for their own regions.
The Liberals got one seat closer this week with MP Chris D'Entremont crossing the floor, but are still a few votes shy of a majority government. And with the Conservatives and Bloc making their opposition to the budget clear, the focus will be on how the NDP vote or don't the week after next. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
A new survey on affordability shows more Canadians are skipping bill payments so they can buy groceries. As Maria Saru reports, it's a choice affecting younger adults the most.
The doors swish open at this Charlottetown store. Carts rattle out and Islanders load groceries into their cars. But some say putting food on the table comes with trade-offs.
It's getting harder all the time.
I usually try to aim for as many sales as I can.
The more it's getting, it's affecting our daily bills.
My car insurance, the fuel, my phone bill, my rent, the groceries, and all that stuff.
New Nanos research for CTV News found 1 in 5 Canadians have skipped paying bills to buy groceries in the past year, and those under 55 were 4 times more likely to do so. Inflation and high housing costs are major factors contributing to the generational divide, says Chief Data Scientist Nick Nanos.
What's clear is that there's a significant proportion of Canadians that are facing those really tough choices. It's quite striking. I think in any other world, this would be considered an epidemic.
13% said they skipped bills sometimes or often, but a regional breakdown shows that number is highest in the Atlantic provinces at 24.2%. The data aligns with other research, says Joshua Smee with Food First NL.
All 4 provinces have upwards of 25% of people being food insecure. Our unemployment rate has generally been higher than the rest of the country. There are more people struggling economically.
He adds that means a higher number of people relying on social assistance or income supports. Shoppers here tell me what would really help is lower prices at grocery stores. But for now, many will keep making compromises. Maria Saru, CTV News, Charlottetown.
And on the desk now with Julie Atchison, looking ahead to this week, and it sounds like it's going to be busy from a forecasting perspective. It sounds like there's a lot going on.
Yeah, early in the season, we're going to get some snowfall. Environment Canada giving a big heads up today, letting everyone know a special weather statement has been issued. This will be in effect for Sunday. Now, the rain-snow mix could start overnight, Saturday into Sunday morning, but the main snow will arrive through the day on Sunday with the potential for 2 to 10 centimeters of snow and the possibility in London. There is also the chance that we could see a lot of mixing, which will minimize snow accumulation. If we get temperatures a bit above freezing, then we will pick up some rainfall. Daytime high coming in the double digits, but right around where we should be for this time of year, but it was cool and damp as we kicked off the day. We do have a secondary cold front coming through tonight, and that'll shift our winds to the northwest, and the winds will be quite gusty as we head through the overnight. Now you can see on the northern flank of this, look at all the snowfall, especially in through parts of Quebec. It continues, special weather statements in effect in through northern Ontario. Now with our extended forecast, what we're watching is some energy from the prairies. That will be diving towards the south. It'll merge into a low pressure area that will be pushing through the Ohio Valley. Now the main low on Sunday is expected to stay just off to the south. However, any change in that trajectory of that low pressure area will change snowfall amounts and precipitation type. Overnight, we'll dip down between 3 and 4 degrees. It'll be quiet other than those winds. Cloudy conditions with about a 40% chance of drizzle. The cool air coming in from the northwest, the coldest air of the season. This is an Arctic cold front. This cool air will follow into Sunday and Monday, and daytime highs will be well below normal. So watch the energy as it comes down, and you can see it taking shape, and you can see on the southern flank we have the rainfall. Here comes the snow. This is Sunday morning at 6 a.m. Again, snowfall amounts, why it's such a wide amount, it is because it's a couple days out. So we'll have a better idea, of course, as we head into tomorrow and we watch as the area of low pressure forms. Now you can see the snowfall that'll be pushing through the day. In London, showing full snow, but right along that shoreline of Lake Erie, that mixed precipitation, so a rain-snow mix. This will continue to push off towards eastern Ontario. If you have travel plans this weekend, always the first snowfall trips people up, so please go slow. Leave yourself lots of extra time if you are traveling. 6 degrees by noon Saturday afternoon. We're at 7 degrees, a chilly wind out of the north at about 15 kilometers per hour. Sunday, that's our day for rain and snow. I mentioned snowfall amounts between 2 and 10 centimeters. So again, we could see a lot of mixing with some rain coming in with this system. In areas along the northern shoreline of Lake Erie, we'll likely not see any snow sticking. As we head into Monday, a 60% chance of lake effect flurries. It will be cold. Remembrance Day, a high of 2 degrees. Likely at ceremony time, feeling at around the freezing mark. 5 degrees as we head into Wednesday with some showers in the forecast and a bit of a rebound as we head a week out. Midwestern Ontario, your forecast tomorrow. Snowfall amounts will likely be heavier, especially in those colder areas towards Huron and Perth County. Not along the lakeshore, but as you head through the interior of the county. Southern Grey County, likely some heavier amounts of snowfall. This is in effect Waterloo, KW, and stretching in and around Toronto and Peel. 1 degree rain-snow mix as we head through Sunday, and then flurries, lake effect snow. This could also be a big forecast early in the week. Midwestern Ontario, you could be dealing with your first lake effect snow of the season, and it could accumulate. So we have to keep a very close eye on that as well. Not the news I'm sure you were hoping on a Friday night. However, daytime highs will slowly start to recover as we head to Thursday and Friday. Carlyle, back to you.
Thanks very much, Julie. Coming up, a better economic outlook than expected. Canadian job numbers trending up in the face of tariff pressure.
Whatever you're doing this weekend, join us on the iHeartRadio Pure Country Countdown. Saturdays at 9, Sundays at 4.
And you can find out how a doctor could be prescribing you live music very soon.
Details this weekend.
Canadian economists say they were surprised by today's national jobs report, indicating nearly 70,000 jobs were added last month, bringing the overall unemployment rate down slightly to 6.9%. With more on the numbers, here's Heather Wright.
For an economy that has been blindsided by U.S. tariffs, today's job numbers are welcome news. Unemployment is down, wages are up, and even some sectors like manufacturing and transportation, which lost a significant number of jobs in the summer, appear to be rebounding.
Over the course of September and October, we're actually seeing kind of a recovery in these sectors, and the sort of the level of employment in both sectors, we're now back to where they were kind of closer to the spring.
Canada added 67,000 jobs last month, with the overall unemployment rate dipping slightly to 6.9%. And while experts say this jobs report is a sign the labor market is beginning to recover, many are still struggling.
I've been applying to more than 100 jobs.
Catherine So is 22 years old and has been searching for months for a job as an early childhood educator. She's open to other jobs as well to help pay the rent, but she's struggling to find anything.
I'm definitely concerned about not landing a job as soon as possible, especially because I don't have much money saved up.
So is not alone. The youth unemployment rate is the highest it has been in decades, though it did drop from 14.7% in September to 14.1% last month. Another area economists are watching is part-time work. All of October's job gains were part-time positions, a sign of uncertainty in the market.
When businesses are looking to hire, they don't want to hire full-time because they're not sure what the coming year is going to look like.
This strong jobs report now has many economists predicting the Bank of Canada will hold its overnight lending rate at its next rate announcement in December after 2 consecutive cuts. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
A different story for the local employment rate. According to Stats Canada, the London region saw unemployment rise to 6.5% in October, up from 6.2% in September. The provincial rate fell 0.3 of a percentage point to 7.6. A man in the Toronto area says he regrets installing solar panels on his home, saying they'll cost him much more than what he's saving on his power bill. With more on the pros and cons of a solar investment, here's Pat Foran.
Osvaldo Guzman of Scarborough had solar panels installed on his home 4 years ago. He says he wanted to do his part to help the environment and lower his energy costs.
I want to go green, and the others save some money. Unfortunately, I didn't get any money back or saved money.
Guzman paid $40,000 for the solar panels and installation, but a year later there was a problem.
My system was broken, and the company didn't, respond.
Guzman says to get the system working again, he had to pay $10,000 for repairs. He says his total monthly savings on his energy bill is $100 a month. If you're thinking of installing solar panels, you could have problems with animals getting under them and snow and ice buildup. Before getting them, you also need to check with your insurance company to make sure you're covered.
But if they found out you had solar panels that did not fit within their eligibility rules, they could make the case that they would not have wrote the policy in the first place to begin with, and that could lead to a denied claim. Could be a very costly mistake.
There may be restrictions on how much power you can generate, and while you may save money on electricity, your insurance premiums could go up.
It's ultimately going to increase the rebuild value of your dwelling, so you will see an increase in premiums on that front as well.
Having solar panels on your home could also affect your home's resale value, as there may be buyers who don't want to deal with them or take over existing agreements. In the event you need a new roof, you may need to pay to remove the panels and reinstall them. They may be a good choice for some, but you need to do your research. Guzman says he wouldn't do it again.
No, never. No. I think the solar panel is for Florida, Miami, the nice weather, where it's sun all day, all year. But here we have maybe 4 months, and that's it.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Canada's main stock index finished in positive territory today, narrowly reversing losses from earlier in the day. The TSX gained 44 points. In New York, the Dow added 75, the Nasdaq down 49. Canadian dollar lost 0.75 cents today. On commodity markets, gold gained almost $20 an ounce. Oil added 32 cents a barrel. Later on CTV News, the legend of the pullout couch, why a piece of hotel furniture is now wrapped up in Blue Jays playoff lore.
Brad Paisley is bringing the Truck Still Works Tour to Canada Life Place on December 11th. And Pure Country 93 and CTV London have your chance to win. Enter online at ctvlondon.ca for your chance to score a pair of tickets.
We will never forget your bravery, your strength, your sacrifice.
The very best and bravest of our nation. These heroic souls stood on guard for freedom.
Join the CTV News team and me as Canada comes together to remember.
Remembrance Day 2025, Tuesday morning at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on CTV.
Canadian food inspection agents say they've shot dead all ostriches at a British Columbia farm fulfilling a cull order over an avian flu outbreak.
You're allowing them to kill the antibodies for H5N1.
Video sent to CTV News shows the tense scene as federal agents moved in last night. A holding pen that was filled with ostriches yesterday appeared still and empty today. No live ostriches could be seen anywhere on the property. The pen where the shootings took place was filled with long blue tarps covering objects on the ground that were shrouded with black sheeting. Local reports indicate it took hours to shoot all the birds after the Supreme Court of Canada ruled it would not hear the farmer's final appeal against the call. Provincial police say about $10,000 worth of copper wire was stolen from Aylmer from a property Tuesday night. They released this image, which they say shows two men breaking into a substation where they got into a building on the property before leaving the door and gate unsecure. An hour later, police say a white van arrived, and video shows 3 men loading supplies from the building into the van before driving away. The London Wine and Food Show is rebranding, now called Taste X, a London food and drink experience.
Our attendees really wanted to be able to try more different, unique products, a lot of products they haven't had the opportunity to try, a lot of products that were going to be exclusive that you couldn't typically find at your LCBO.
Organizers call it a new era, embracing inclusivity, discovery, and flavor. They say they're expanding the food sampling lineup and adding more live music. The 2026 event is scheduled for January 9th and 10th at the Western Fair District.
We're going to have our traditional wine, beer, and spirits that people have known and loved throughout the years, but we're also going to up our non-alcoholic game at the show this year.
Live Festival organizers say thousands of people came out to their shows this season. The Canadian theatre troupe produced 5 plays this summer, selling nearly 25,000 tickets. According to organizers, that's a 20% increase compared to last year and 10,000 more sold than a decade ago. There's still one more production yet to hit the stage as well, a Huron County Christmas Carol, which will premiere next month. Researchers at a southwestern Ontario university have built a helmet designed to measure our brain cells, which emit light. As Spencer Turcott reports, that subtle glow may help them detect and diagnose cancer in its earliest stages.
We put gel into each of these 19 electrodes.
It looks like a mad science experiment.
So it just sits snugly on top.
And it kind of is, but this mad science has the potential to save lives.
The general gap that we have in cancer detection is that we're completely reliant on biomolecules, genes, and physical constructs.
Wilfrid Laurier Assistant Professor Narosha Murugan is the brains behind the quest to find another way to detect the disease. Her team of researchers landed on the light that our cells emit.
If we're trying to look for a way to non-invasively detect brain cancer with one of the most common aggressive forms is glioblastoma, we kind of need to tease apart the signals.
So using ultra-sensitive detectors to pick up individual photons, sensors in this helmet record the electrical and photonic landscape of our brains.
Our goal is to detect cancer in the earliest form.
It's really consistent, a few spikes.
The trouble with current cancer detection technology is that it requires an accumulation of cancer tissue, captured by imaging or biomarkers that may be hard to access or is too far along once found.
What we mean by early is that when that single cell starts to make a decision to go from its healthy state to something that's what we consider not normal.
Catching it at the single cell level could lead to earlier diagnoses and lower risk of mortality. Now Murugan is working with a medical oncologist to track patients undergoing chemotherapy to see if they can identify cognitive impairments following treatment. If successful, the magnetic fields may also have the ability to halt progression of psychiatric illnesses.
I think our technology has the potential to be on the preventative side.
A no-brainer in her eyes when it comes to pushing cancer research and overall wellness ahead. Spencer Turcott, CTV News, Waterloo.
Thank you to Shannon Rose Matt. Shannon is a photographer out of Bothwell. Cloudy conditions with a risk of drizzle overnight. A rain-snow mix in the forecast for your Sunday. And it looks like some accumulating snow in parts of Midwestern Ontario as we head through Sunday and Monday.
The provincial government has added another senior official to oversee the Grey Bruce Public Health Unit. Ontario's chief medical officer was put in charge back in August after a review found issues with leadership, financial management, human resources, and governance. However, the review itself has not been made public. Dr. Eileen Davila is now part of the provincial team overseeing the health unit. She played a key role in the City of Toronto's response during the COVID-19 pandemic. Air traffic staffing issues are causing delays and cancellations south of the border.
They said the safest way to do this is to get to 10%, to do a step approach and do it. We're doing it 4%. And then as you see, 4 days later, we do 2. 2 days later, we do another 2. And then 2 days after that, we're at 10%. They thought from the safety team and the administrator, that was the best way to do this and the safest way to do this, which is why that's what we rolled out.
The U.S. Federal Aviation Administration delayed flights at 6 airports today, with at least 800 flights canceled this morning. Aviation officials were ordered to reduce flights because of the ongoing U.S. government shutdown, which has forced air traffic controllers to work without pay for more than a month. New data shows Canadians are making fewer trips to the U.S. compared to previous years. The Angus Reid Institute survey found 1 in 10 Canadians have made multiple trips to the U.S. in the past 12 months, down from 1 in 5 2 years ago. 70% of respondents also said they would be uncomfortable traveling south of the border this winter, describing new border requirements for long-term visits like fingerprinting as invasive. A CTV camera operator has recently undergone brain surgery for deep brain stimulation, a procedure meant to help him control a condition causing involuntary tremors. Omar Sachdina has more on the surgery's results.
Fresh off of brain surgery from his hospital bed.
I would have never been able to hold this or even bring it to my mouth without it spilling all over the place.
The man who has made a career out of capturing big moments in others' lives.
So crazy. It's amazing.
Can't resist capturing one of the biggest in his own.
And the cool thing is that the pacemaker's not even on yet.
Kirk Neff has just had a 5-hour operation to insert an electrode deep in his brain to disrupt involuntary shakes in his hand called essential tremors.
Okay, you're all checked in for
Thank you. Great. Great, yep.
2 weeks later, we are joining Kirk for his appointment as a doctor switches on a current that Kirk will eventually be able to control himself through his phone to stop his tremors.
What I need you to do is what we...
It begins with a quick test to see how Kirk's hand reacts before the current is on.
Okay, let's go for it.
You can see that Kirk struggles to keep the pen steady in their spirals. It takes everything out of him.
Okay.
Now I gotta breathe.
Yeah, this is your brain.
That's crazy.
And this little dot here?
Yeah.
That's the electrode.
Then begins to deliver a current.
Yeah, I feel it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you feel?
Just a little slight, like almost like a vibration. Oh my God. I feel like I'm in space. Like just, you know what I mean? Like I'm just like hovering.
Remember that spiral test? Well, he does it again.
Very good.
This time with a lot more control.
What type of impact has this had?
You saved my life. You saved my career. I hate being emotional like that, but you saved my career.
Dr. Hodai knew it would happen.
Has it dawned on you the impact you've had?
It's quite a statement, honestly.
With Kirk behind her shooting this very interview, even the rational surgeon eventually recognizes the difference she's made.
As I talk to you, Omar, I have to say, there's someone standing behind me, and I cannot stop thinking of the fact that it's Kirk and how well he's done after surgery. So that's incredible.
As for Kirk, he's now getting ready to do the same procedure on his right hand before the end of the year.
I got a lot of years left of me, and I think this will help.
Omar Sachedina, CTV News.
London's top stories.
We have breaking news tonight out of Ottawa. The latest in the
Breaking news alerts.
I'm tracking an area of severe weather. It'll start.
And watch live.
A development now to a story from City Hall we brought you.
Download the CTV News app.
I'm Sherry Flick, host of Weekend Spotlight, Saturday mornings, 8 a.m. And this Saturday, we're going to talk Dream Lottery with a patient ambassador, as well as London Health Sciences Foundation's John McFarland to find out where the money from the lottery goes. We will also get all the details on the local Remembrance Day ceremony coming up very soon. And guess where trips? Have you heard about them? They're so cool. We'll talk to the owner. That's this Saturday, 8 a.m.
Finally tonight, the story of a pullout couch and its place in Blue Jays postseason lore. Jessica Smith has more on its significance and why it's now on display in a hotel lobby.
Was Barger on your couch last night?
He was, yeah.
The night before one of the biggest games of his career, Blue Jays outfielder Addison Barger crashed on teammate Davis Schneider's pullout couch at the Marriott Hotel attached to the Dome.
He was staying with Miles and then stayed with me last time. My girlfriend's here, so
He was like, I sleep in the bed with you guys? And I was like, no, sleep on my couch. Sleep in the pool. It's a pull-out, yeah.
We did have a room for him. That's the irony of this whole thing. And he didn't want to sleep alone, before a big game.
After a grand slam in the 6th inning of Game 1 of the World Series, the lore of the pull-out couch lives on. Now on display in the hotel lobby, with fans flocking in to have a seat.
Is that the couch? No.
With the whole momentum, I mean, we're still carrying it with us, and we're talking about a couch. It's unbelievable. It really is. It's a pretty special story.
And as far as how comfortable it is,
It was squeaking all night.
Tough for the back. Pull-out couches are the most uncomfortable thing imaginable.
It was so funny. I looked over and I just see him just sleeping there in the middle of the night, and he's a head case, but he's funny.
Well, I think he got a great sleep. I think that's the secret sauce here. He clearly really enjoyed his stay. And again, he looks so relaxed in that picture. It's unbelievable. He's just doing his thing and hit one of the biggest home runs in Blue Jays history the following day.
giving a whole new meaning to the phrase big comfy couch. The couch will be here in the lobby on display until November the 14th. Then the hotel says they're not sure if they're going to keep it here on display, auction it off for charity, or put it back in its original room. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For your latest local headlines, you can always head to our website. For all of us at CTV News London, I'm Carlyle Fiset. Have a great weekend.